negotiate what's best rate. Here's something we already showed last time, and two sections before. I will have a quick review for few things with you guys. Number one, uh, when the client asks for you to look for some commercial leasing industrial, so number one, you need to qualify the buyer's requirements. So basically, most people they're asking, David, I need to rent something for my industrial use. So industrial use, we see number one, you have to make sure what location they're looking for. So you can set some criteria. Number two, you have to see what the size they're looking for. So some people are looking at a couple thousand, 100,000 square foot. So still different needs they're asking. Number three, of course, you need to know what's their budget. Sometimes they're looking for the rental rate and have a limited budget. They say I want 3,000-4,000 square foot, but I have my limited budget to rent for that. So otherwise they cannot afford it. Number four, of course, in most cases they're looking for say what kind of use. Some people are looking for say manufacture. Some people may be looking for warehousing only. Some people say I'm looking for something for wholesale. I remember that some client, some agent a few years ago, and looking for something for growing purpose. So growing, they need a license, right? So they need a permit. So you have to make sure what that your client is looking for. So that's the qualification. So based on that, if you really find something already according to your client, according to they ask you to look for something, you need to make sure you know anything about listing. So some basic terminology you have to understand first. So I will go quickly for those terminology. So make sure that you know everything. When we go to the listing, when we find something, so I'm sure you need to know basic what they're talking about. Now, let's say here is something I share with you, not only as the buyer agent, but you need also the listing agent. When you listen the unit or the building for lease, you have to know what's those kind of technology. So number one, we basically always looking for, say, what is the net rent? Net rent in agreement to lease, sometimes they're also talking about basic rent. That means whatever you pay that the landlord got asking for the net. They call it triple net. That means the basic rent. That's the number one. Number two, they always look in a listing, you will see TMI. TMI, also sometimes they say additional rent. So TMI, the short form is T form, we call always realty tax. We call it property tax. M, some people say maintenance, some people say management, because the higher management look for that. So that the M for many maintenance, in most cases, maintenance, sometimes they say management. And the other one, I, for insurance, we call the building insurance. So that's the TMI stands for. So we need to know that. And in some other cases, in some listing, you will see T and O. T, that means realty tax, property tax. O, they call it operating cost. So those things, when you look at the listing, you will say, oh, they don't say TMI, they say T and O. So make sure you know that. And in some other cases, you will see that for the gross rent. What gross rent, some people confuse. In mostly they call it gross rent, they will include TMI, or they include the T and M. They sometimes come T and O, M, or sometimes they can T and O. So when they say T and M, that means management, maintenance, including building insurance, right? Sometimes they say T and M, the management office looking after, so it's gross rent. In some other cases, they say gross rent only including utility. but the TMI not included. So you have to make sure what they are including. If you are listing agent, you have to also write it down what gross rent including. So when you prepare the offer, always you have to make sure gross rent including what inside there. Everybody knows we are realtor, right? We are dependent on commission. So in a listing, if you're a listing agent, you need offer the package commission payment. What commission paid? Some people go by excuse me, like residential. In most cases, right, we pay co-op agent half month's rent, and but in commercial, it's not often use half months or 1 month's rent, but normally we go by percentage. So when you're talking about full commission, we're talking about 10% or 8% for the commission. So the 4% of is to the cooperating agent. The same thing like sometimes the people pay 5%. So this percentage is based on the net rent. Please make sure. So if you're offering gross rent, sometimes landlord, oh, they pay too much. So we go by net rent. So 4% for 1 year. The reason is in commercial lease, you're looking at sometimes 3 years term, 5 years term, sometimes 10 years term as well. So when you do talking about commission, so you have say year one, the first year will be pay you let's say 4%. If you have 5 years term, what about the rest of commission? Of course, every year should be get the commission. So that's why I took example here, 2% for each year. That means every if 5 years term, the first year you got 4% already, the rest of the years every year 2%. So this total 5 years lease, the commission you get in the lump sum on the commencement of the lease. So that means you're getting payment on closing. So that's a basic terminology I can share with you. All right. So as we talked about last time, if you're a listing agent, you have to see what kind of forms you're using, what's the process you're doing. So that's some form I listed out here. So I will not go through everything. But again, as I say, we are looking at this today, how to prepare the offer, how to negotiate the lease with the listing agent. Okay. If you're a cooperating agent, so here are the forms as well. It's listed out for you. The only thing I can share with you is that we, in a commercial lease, we have two forms normally people are looking at. One is 510. 510 we are talking about is a long form. We see about it in a few minutes. Long form means you list down that every year's rental payment. So you list about up to 5 years. If you get listening for over 5 years, 10 years or whatever, you need to get the additional form to create for that. Okay, so it's a long form. The other ones, if you're talking about gross rent, often people say, David, we want the gross rent for 3 years, 5 years. So I suggest you can use 511. That's the short form. So the difference is the short form, they do not list out every year's rental payment. So you call it just one lump sum payment for, let's say, 3 years or 5 years. So that's what we call the short form. So other forms you will see later on, if you have time, you can look at every form. So you will get forms for the commercial lease. So that's the forms we are talking about, listing agent and the co-operating agent. Okay. So again, those when you do the listing or when you do the cooperating, the process we already talking about before. If you have time, you can go back to see what's the process we are talking about there. Okay, so here are some basic how do you do research, how do you do the what kind kind of type of commercial lease and what the kind of use and those kind of things. I'm not going to talk about it today. So again, we are going to do the real demo, how to do research, how to prepare the offer in 2 minutes. Okay, so that's the slides I created for this section. And if you, some people, you want to make sure you want to see more slides here, of course, you can approach me. I can send you a copy of PPT so you can look at that afterwards. Okay, so that's the kind of the basic the preparation for the listing or for your prepared offer. So let's go back to the MLS to search for property. We go from there. Okay, let's stop the sharing for this one first. Okay, let's get back to MLS. Just a second. I got some problem here today. For, let's see. Initial. Let's go from here. Okay, I'm using the matches. Some people use in the room, I'm sure, right? The guys use in the room. And the same process, the same way when you do the search. So let's say today I got some client. They ask me, say, David, I want to look for some industrial property and for commercial leasing. I'm looking at the site from 5,000 or to 10,000 square foot. So I will go into the I log in my MLS. We go to search, right? Just a second. I log in. Then I need to go to see the code give me. Just a second. Got the code and I'm going to log in here. Just a second. So I'm already in here in the on MS. So go to the search button, and because I know the people ask for some specific, some basic requirement. I'm going to search. We're going from commercial lease. Look at here. So from here, I got screen like this. I'm sure if you matrix, it will be same way. If you read, will be a little kind of different. So here, commercial lease, I'm looking for industrial. Look at here. Some people will say for the category, do I need to look for anything? If you know you want to, you can do so. Let's say warehousing, they have everything breakdown here, right? Warehouse, whatever. But for me, as I said, I know the industrial area, right? I'm an industrial property, so I will leave that for blank. Of course, the use again. You want some people want use specific use, you can go there as well. Every use you can find it even industrial, they say what they're looking for, right? So in this case, for the training purpose, I do not want to touch anything now. So here, I wanted to make sure is the area, the people looking at the job region. So that means Markham and Richmond Hill. So from job region, you can go to wherever Markham. I'm looking for some, let's say, for today's purpose, I'm looking for the Markham area. Again, the people say, I need to know what's the square footage. So the pricing, I leave it for, I don't want to touch the pricing for now because different area, different property, maybe they have pricing different. I want to make sure that the area, they're looking at, let's say, total area here, they're looking at 4,000 to 15,000 square foot. So in this way, you can see I got 15 listings result here. So let's open it. So this the listing we already see here on the screen. I can go quickly one by one first, and in the end I will get the one demo for you guys to take a look at here. Okay. So let's open one by one first quickly. I want to make sure you guys already knew what the terminology. That's what I said a few minutes ago. So here, look at the listing. This address, of course, I mean, we see the address, we have unit 2, and so far we look at, that's what we said, pricing. They're looking for $15.95. Look at here, what do they say? Square foot net. So that means the net rent. That's what we call also the basic rent. Okay, remember this one. Second one, we see TMI. We already asked, said just now already. What is TMI? Look at here. They call it TMI. Some people may maybe say TNO. We see if any listening, we look at that. So TMI will be $5.17 per square foot. So look at that. We already have two numbers, okay? Net rent and TMI. So we next one we have to see what the kind of use you have to see in industrial use. Okay, so the zoning is industrial, and again we see exact use. We have to look at the description, or you have to look at for whatever according to the clients asking, right? And the next one you look at here, see the square footage. So that's the side I already set criteria from 5,000 square foot up to 15,000. That's falling into my category, right? So 7,000, that's the square footage. At the beginning, as I said, you need to ask the client what kind of music that, what they're looking for, what they need basically. Look at here, they have a percentage for area. When you look at here, 75% is the office area. So if your clients are looking for something for warehousing, so maybe the office area is too much. So this kind of property will be good for some wholesaler, for some people that doing a kind of a wholesale and retail business, or they're running some online some operation. So that's good for some people. The industrial area, look at here, it's only 25%. So the smaller area for storage, for manufacture, whatever, right? So that's the kind of thing you need to make sure the client is good for your client. So people looking say, oh, I need only 25% office. Then you need to go back to looking after the kind of area you're looking for. Here, the one thing you have to make sure, the height, ceiling height. Remember, if your client looking for some warehousing, they might be looking for higher ceiling, the better for them. And I saw recently a lot of people looking for recreation, like badminton, they play basketball. Some people say play that some other golfing training, that's kind of thing. So they need high ceiling, need higher. Some high ceiling up to I saw 26, 28. I saw the highest one 32 feet. So this is the kind of thing you need to make sure. Okay, so that's the listing. Some major point you need to remember to explain to the client. If they say, "Oh, David, why is the 75% for office area? Why? What kind of use? Whatever." So you need to understand how to explain to the people. Okay, so that's some basic thing. The other thing is some for the manufacturer people, they need what loading dock. So this loading dock, they have one shower level. That means there's one loading door. And in some other case, they have a drive in. So let's say one place or two drive in, you have to make sure. So that's the kind of thing you need matching whatever your clients are asking. Okay, so that's basically it so far. And again, in the client remark, whatever they describe the property, whatever describe the property, whatever the things there, you have to remember. Okay, so that's just things that people have been asking. Oh, they, they be more specific, say what kind of use there, what kind of location there, and what that some amenity, so it's close by. So that kind of thing you have to remember as well. If you are a listing agent, you will write down a lot of stuff. Yeah? So attract, we create more traffic, we create more attraction to people they're looking for, right? So the next one, as I said just now already here, and we are real that we depend on commission. What commission are paying here? Look at here. So the commission they pay, that's what I put in that terminology there as already. You see, they pay you 4% for year one, plus here say 1.75% on the net. That means on a net rent, number one. Number two is the net rest of the term. 5 years term, you try 4 years, you get the commission 1.75%. Okay, so that's the basic term you see already. It's one listing. Okay, let's go to the next one quickly and see any difference here. Another listing looks like the price okay, GMI is okay, square foot as well. Look at here, the area, they have 800 square foot for the office only. The rest, you see, industrial. So that's the thing. If your client looking for something like this, that's good to go, right? And also ceiling height is only 16 feet. So maybe to some people they say, oh, too low. I need higher ceiling, okay? And the good thing is loading truck level. They have two loading dock truck. So that's a good thing for some client as well. So the rest, I will not touch it, and only the commission again here. They only look at here, 4% of 1 year. What about if it's a 5 years term? What you can get? You need to ask this agent. If I bring you 5 years term, so do you I get 4% each year? Some people make sure we have the one our colleagues one time say as per MLS. So originally he looking for 5 years term. So if you say as per MLS in the commission, you will be in one trouble. Say they say the listening will say, oh David, I just pay you 1 year net rent 4%. So if you say something like this, so you will be some gray area. It's not good for you. So what you can do, if 5 years term, you will say 4% of net rent each year. That means 5 years term, you get 5 years commission. So make sure you write it down properly. Otherwise, you will lose the commission, right? So that's the thing. It's different from the one we saw just now. Okay, and this is another one. So this $18 per square foot, 375, and the square foot look the size okay. That the office area is 35%. So that's good for, let's say good for my client. It's for wholesale, right? 65% they're doing storage, and 35 is office demonstration. We call it a showroom. You can use that one. So that's good one. So this one I will use also for office purposes after this. Okay. So again, one loading dock, and also whatever they say description, you can see the showroom, they told you already, and everything looks good, right? That's maybe I am getting prepared off for this. So that's things inside the listing. And again, the commission issue is a good one for, that's what I said just now, 4% for first year net rent and 1.75% net for balance of term. You see the right so clear. So in this case, if you said as per MLS, you're good, right? The other listing just now we saw, if you say as per MLS in a commission, you'll be in trouble. So you don't know whether 4% for 1 year or for total 5 years. That's confusing, right? So that's the thing I share with you here already. So let's go to quickly, and if something different, we go quickly. Otherwise, we don't need to. Oh, this one looks common. It's very normal. Oh, Here, one thing, look, what commission, others be similar, right? Here is, look at here, the commission called half month's rent plus HST. That means if you are getting 5 years term, no matter how many years, 3, 5 years, you only get half month's rent, right? And in that case, do you think it's good? Of course, maybe it's not good for you. Unless they say the lease term, how long? Let's see. The lease term, let's see, they put anything here. I don't see some told the lease term maybe 36 months or whatever. Here they did not say anything here. Sometimes they do. So looks to me it's not did not say anything here. Maybe they're looking at only 1 year. Oh, here, found it. Look here, the lease term, 36 months. That means minimum 3 years, maximum 5 years term. So in this case, if the commission again half months, do you think it's what you can say about it? So that's a not good one, right? So if you do 5 years term, you have to half months for each year for the lease of the term, right? So that's the one is different from previous year. And try one more thing because they're there already. This one is common. This office. The good. Everything looks okay. Look here. We call it loading dock. Here, not loading dock. It's only drive-in level. That means it is not loading dock. You can put the big truck there. It's only so normal van, whatever. So only drive-in area. So property is not good for some client because in this way you can ignore it, right? And the other thing is again, the good thing is here. Look here, the commission payment. We call it 6% year one net rent. 2% net rent thereafter. This is for the different wording. So in this way, if everything is good for your client, of course, that's the commission you're going to get, right? And it's a different. So every listing you will see really slightly different. So other thing, this one again, we don't have anything different. I will not touch it. So that's the only thing different here. Lease term. Look at here. They're looking for 5 years minimum, maximum 5 years. Some not like some other landlord looking for flexi for 36 months or whatever, right? So this is different. And again, the commission is common. It's very it's common practice. So that's the one here. You can see, right? And let me see another one. Then we go back to the offer. So this is another one. $18 TMI and square foot. Okay, this only thing the difference is they use more office, right? So maybe to some people it may be good, some other client maybe not. So this depends on. That's why I say you need to qualify your client, make sure what kind of use, what kind of needs they're looking for. And here again, the commission, this good commission as well payment. So that's a kind of listing here. I mean, different from some of them. Loading dock here, drive in again. So if you people looking for the loading dock, this is not good. But to some client, that's what I said. Maybe good one. Go ahead for this. Okay. So that's a listing. I cannot touch everything now. And too many listening here. Let's go in back to see. If you look, my client already saw the property. Yes, they want to make an offer. First of all, you need to check the something like a residential UCMA. You have to make sure that what area look normal rental rate. If they don't have the same complex, you can look for something in the area, same street or same area. If you don't have to see anything in the last 3 months, 6 months. You can look for something 1 year. 1 year ago, 2 years ago, then you see the area, what the percentage increase every year. Based on that, you can see what pricing is good. Then after you find something or talk to your client, then you need to negotiate with the listing agent. Say, look, based on the market rate, you're looking for something where I would offer you what kind of pricing for now. So that's the way you need to negotiate, discuss about pricing. Let's say we saw the original already, as I said. So I'm ready to go and prepare the offer. We see doing that. Okay. This is 145, the one I just talking about. We are ready for this one. What we can do? Right? You need to go into the web form here. There's a web form that when you do the ring system, the same way you can go to web form. Okay, open the web form there. So from there, you can need what you can do. You do create a transaction. But for this training purpose, I already created a transaction. So let's do it the other way. Okay, just a second. We're going back to this lesson. Let's go to another lesson before we do that. So let's say this is the one I'm going to prepare the offer. So you will go to web form. From web form, you see the address already there. Template we're using is commercial lease offer. See 04A. Click that one. Because that the listener already on MS, you need to find that the import data is a commercial property. So the MS number already here, look here, and you are represented tenant, you cooperating salesperson here. So you create a transaction. So that's you will see from here, the offer package already here. You don't need to fill out here. The quick way is going to the forms. So look at here, the forms already pop you out, all the form. If your first time your client did not sign BRA, you sign BRA, you need also client ID 630 for the individual. If they're corporation, you need also 631, you need those kind of information from the client, okay? And 636, you don't need it now. Legal info guide, you need this one as well. And you see 510 is a long form, commercial lease long form. And the rest will be 565, that's a rental application property the landlord will ask for. And this one, 324, that's a you are representing tenant. How do you get your commission? This commission payment, the confirmation. Okay, so that's a package you need. Please remember. Okay, so later on, if you need to fill out, do your practice, use those form to do it. Okay, so in this for this training purpose, I'm going back to the listing I prepared for you guys to look at that. Okay, that's going back to the place. I'm going back to the form. Let's just I need to close this one. Just a second. Okay, I created one for the 145. Just here. Okay, the one I created yesterday before for training purpose. I will open this one. Go through quickly with your guys to see the package, the same package as what I showed you just now, because this one I just created already for training purpose. Let's open this one. So you will see the red color, that's the one I filled in. In case you want to see it later on, I can send you the copy as well. Okay. So the rest, everything should be filled out the same way. I don't want you to touch it in much details. The only thing I need mention to you again for training purpose. If the tenant is a corporation or the corporation, they don't have the company yet, they're going to incorporate the corporation. So you use a name like this. The tenant name, let's say David for a corporation to be incorporated. Use his personal name for a corporation to be incorporated. So that's the name you can do that one. Some people say, oh, David in trust. You can say so, but the landlord will say, in trust for who? For a corporation already existing or for a corporation to be incorporated. So make sure you know that, okay? And the rest will be square footage. You have to make sure what's the size, okay? And the address, you need to make sure the important is that using, look at here, I put that because the people want to use it as warehousing and wholesale related. Wholesale, that means when you do the wholesale, sometimes you have to get the showroom in front or some other office in front. That's why I say wholesale related. Okay. So the terms you need to make sure here, as I said just now, we need a 5 year term. So you repeat what time to start it, the first day of October. Normally for a commercial lease, if the vacant property, of course, you can go quicker, 1, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, even less than 1 month. If for something already, some tenant there, maybe you need 2 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, it still depends. Okay, so that's the base of basically the exact the listing and also based on your client's requirement for starting. So this term will be 5 years from October 1st until September 30, 2029. That's a 5 year term. Besides, if the lease expires on 5 years term, I need another 5 years. So there will be one additional term for 16 months. That's another additional term for 5 years. Sometimes some clients say, I'm looking for the long term. What do you mean long term? I need 10 years, 20 years maybe. So you can say one additional or two additional or three additional. Okay, so you make sure based on whatever you're asking. The next one is how long you need to exercise the option. The option for tenant to renew is as right for the tenant. So some people say, David, I don't need the option. I don't need it. Why not? That's a benefit to your client. Tell the client on the exercise your option to renew. You don't need to if you don't want it. But if you don't have that one, in case you're going to extend it or you're going to do business longer, so you will lose the opportunity. So you make sure you have the option. Also make sure that time period is important. Let's say your 6 months time to tell the landlord before expiring. If you miss one day, the landlord can refuse to renew the lease. So in this way, the client will be in disaster. If they want to continue the business, if they don't have get it in time, that's very big trouble. And make sure you remind the client. Okay, we're going to the important issue now. As I said at the beginning, they are looking for 5 years term, right? So remember how much they're asking on the listing. Yes. They're looking for $18 per square foot. Okay. Let's say I search the area already. I look at the previous lease. They're talking the rent before last year, the year before, let's say 14, 15 already. So in this way, I will tell the landlord, the listing agent, David, and can you bring your offer? So you're asking 18, probably I can try the $16 per square foot. So in this way, because the market price in the area around 16, 650 or whatever. So that's the way you can talk to the listing agent. And some other people say, I give you long term. Let's say they're looking for 3 or 5 years, whatever. But I can give you 5 years, 4, 5 years. So I want to get a better deal. So that's the way you always you have to bargain, right? So you have to negotiate the power to get the best deal. That's the way you do it. Okay. The only thing, please remember, whatever you're talking about, negotiating a lease for the lease and rental rate, TMI never negotiable. That means whatever they're asking 3.78% per square foot, you cannot say, oh, I can pay you $3 per TMI. No way. Okay. TMI, TNO, never negotiable. So that price, they always the landlord sometimes adjust it according to the property evaluation. Sometimes the city maybe increase the property tax, so that if in this case the landlord pay more TMI property tax, of course you can do increase tax, right, TMI. So this one, please remember, they always not negotiable. Only the net rent. Okay. So, okay, that's the side already here. As I said just now, let's going back to the offer. Here you see, I already talked to leasing agent. We are starting from $16 per square. Look at here. So from the first day of October, we're paying $16 per square foot net rent. And based on the net rent, because the square footage, we already 5,000 something, so that will be annual rent. 16 times square footage, you will get total annual rent. Then divide by 12, you will see this will be monthly net rent. Remember, it's a net rent, okay? So later on, you will see Schedule A, we need to put the TMI there as well, okay? So that's the year number one. Year number two, again, every year we can give you 50 cents off plus. So that means second year is $16.50. Every year we give you 15 cents increase. Some people go by percentage. Let's say 3%, 6%. Then it times 6% times the net rent every month. So you get also every year you get percentage increase. It's up to you, okay? Normally go with 50 cents. Sometimes depend on the market. If it's a good market, hot market, 50 cents are not enough. Sometimes they ask you for 75 cents or even $1 increase. Remember, okay? So here, for training purpose, I just put 50 cents here every year. And also sometimes, if you have that the property is not easy to rent out, you have more power to negotiate. Say, first year 16, second year 16, and the third year I can give you $1 increase. So you can do that way. Okay. So in this way, the client save some money. So that's a strategy you can negotiate with the leasing agent always. Okay. So every year already, as I said, so I will not to this make more details here now. So you can see how do you increase the rent, how do you list down 5 years rental payment. The one thing I need to remember to remind you, number four, right? Rental payment, we call it fixed minimum rent. Do you remember I said at the beginning, gross rent, right? When you're talking about gross rent, they already including the TMI or TNO, whatever. So in that way, if you're doing gross rent for 5 years, every year, how much per month? Per month, here the fixed rent. Remember, you need cross out fixed minimum rent. You have to cross out this one. You need to put the gross rent per month, per year, whatever. Otherwise, the landlord will say, "Oh, this fixed minimum rent." In reality, they ask for you need to pay my TMI, you need to pay my TNO, so that way you get in trouble. Okay, so be, be careful. Number four, rental. If it's gross rent, you need to change something here. That's why I said if you don't use the long form, you can use short form 511. Okay, so that's the way it's supposed to be here. Again, let's go and move on quickly. And no matter what, you need to pay the HST for sure based on the net rent, how much gross rent you need to pay plus here by 13% on top of that. Make sure, right? And also here in this spot, if you click here, first day of each month from October 1st, that's the way you're doing, okay? Please remember. Unless sometimes, the rent start from 15, 16, whatever the day, you should be the first day of the payment each month. Make sure, all right? Okay, we are getting page 2 here. Of course, upon acceptance, paid leasing agent, this deposit, people always missing it. They call it, remember net rent? 6,920, right? They pay all 6 rent plus the last month. Remember, first and last, 6,900 plus 7,700. That's the first and the last. Don't say 6,900 times 2. That's wrong, okay? Because first month's rent plus last month's rent. Again, also, the TMI, you need to add to first month's net rent plus TMI, last month's rent plus TMI. Then you will get total deposit plus HST. Don't miss it. Otherwise, the listener say, "Oh, David, you're not professional agent," so they will look down you, right? So that's the way. Please remember. And here, the quickly will be number 6. Of course, in most cases, tenant to pay utility, right? Gas, heating, water, hearing, whatever. So that's the way you need to also click here. And number 7, you can click, or normally we say put here C Schedule A, because whatever you included, whatever not included, you need to put in Schedule A there. Okay. And number 8, Schedule A. Of course, we already prepared Schedule A template there already, so we looked at quickly as well. And irrevocable. In many cases for commercial lease, normally we go by at least 2 to 3 days. Then 1 day not good enough unless sometime for bidding. The listing agent, oh, we got 2-3 offer already for in hot market, so we need 1 day only. So in that way, depend on your the listing, whatever you need to communicate with the listing agent first. All right. And the rest will be we don't need to put anything unless the landlord promised to do something there, or tenant will need to do something there. Put Schedule B or C, whatever. Right? Okay. Signage also we don't need to touch it. Parking in most cases you don't have designated parking. They park outside, maybe whoever who comes first parking there first, right? So because first come first serve. That's it. You don't need to touch anything. And the rest will be the same thing like residential or whatever. Okay, I will not touch it. No, let's go into Schedule A. Schedule A are already, as I said, temporary already there. You need based on whatever the listing, based on whatever the requirement, you need to modify the listing. I mean the offer. Here the first one I mentioned just now. C Schedule A. That's the one I said to you just now. Let's call it TMI. The TMI, remember they ask you $3.78 per square foot per annum. So based on this times the square footage divided by 12, you will get monthly this one, 1600. So this 1600 plus 6700, remember that the net rent, that's the monthly rent you need to pay plus HST. Okay, that's the number one. You make sure this one you cannot miss it. Otherwise, so you'll be not complete. Okay, the number one. Number two is we already mentioned about the option to renew. We mentioned here again. Yes, many people say, "Oh, David, after 5 years, what's the rental payment will be?" Based on this, what we wrote here will be after option to renew. You just tell the landlord will be based on the market rent. Let's see. Actual reasonable payment because accepted rent will be mutually agreed by tenant and landlord. Normally we say market price. Otherwise, if you don't reach the agreement with the rental rate, that may be at end. Maybe you need arbitrator to do that. So in many cases, maybe not. I mean, I did not often see anything something like that. So market rate will be based on both party agreeable. Okay, and here other term I don't need to touch anything. I only need to see something important to you. Here it may be post day check. If you have 5 years term, first year already paid, first month paid, and the last month for 5 years last month, not the first year 5 months. So that's why you need 11 post day check. Okay, that's the one. And here you need to also remember the use. Some people say, "Oh, I use the warehousing now," or suddenly after I move in, I use the manufacturer, whatever. No, it's not. Yeah, I use it. I said for warehousing after closing, I use to use recreational purpose. No way. Okay, so that landlord will lock you out if you're doing that. Okay, and this one it's very general. If you need it, sometimes I remove it if I represent a tenant. So depend on what you want to do about it. So other issue I need to say, that's because there's too much. Yeah, I don't need to say everything in detail. This one insurance for sure, and the same thing like residential. The tenant need to buy insurance. In commercial, in many cases, they're asking for $2 million insurance. Sometimes they're asking $5 million insurance. Okay, make sure this is. Then you need to remind the client already there. One more thing you need to remember as well here. In commercial lease, a lot of issues we're talking about free rent. Free rent, what kind of free rent? Free rent, we normally say free rent, net rent. Here, because it's using warehousing, I use only 1 month net rent free. But in other cases, last time I think for business or for some other use, we ask for 2 months, 3 months free net rent even. Depending on uh, how long you need the tenant need to set up their for warehousing, need to set up something. So depend on that. If you need time, let's say for a restaurant, they need to set up 3-4 months. Of course, you can ask for 2-3 months net rent free, right? So that's the thing. Please remember, depend on exact use. Okay. And other issue, just general where I may not touch it, but the only thing, the condition I need to make sure. Number one, the condition is this condition need, uh, let's say, tenants lawyer to review. This is one of the condition because we always said we are doing the sales, we're doing the leasing, but we don't touch any legal issue. So for lease, that's commercial lease. In case if you're not so quite sure, that's the one condition you need to put here. So 5 banking days, or sometimes people put 10 banking days, depending on how long you need it, right? So that's condition protect your client, actually protect yourself, because you sometimes you are not good at the leasing, the lease term. So this is the way help the lawyer will help your client to read through, look at after this. That's number one. As the other condition is important as well. Again, as I said beginning, there's some client looking for recreational, they're looking for some daycare, looking for some badminton use, whatever. So this condition will be for the client to verify, we always say to verify the use. Or sometimes you need obtain the permit, or you need confirmation the permit, confirmation of the use from the city. In many cases, the landlords agree, oh, David, you can use badminton, that's fine. You go to the management office and say, oh, that's fine. But when you go to the city, the township, they say, oh, the use not allowed. Then you'll be in trouble, right? So that's why we said this is one of the major conditions you need to protect your client. Of course, if for general use, maybe fine. For some specific use, that's the way you need it. Okay, remember that. And the next one more condition is in commercial lease, a lot of landlord, especially some management office, they have their own standard lease. Standard lease, I saw some of them 30 pages, some of them even 60, 70 pages. So that's called landlord standard lease. So if the landlord have standard lease, they will give you, after you sign after the lease, within 5 days or 10 days, whatever, they will bring you standard lease, just like a residential Ontario standard tenancy agreement. So that's the code standard lease. So if you have this way, if you're a leasing agent, you can mention in the listing, say, the landlord will provide the standard lease for the tenant after acceptance of the agreement to lease. Remember it, okay? If you are buyer, your cooperative agent, represent a tenant, before you prepare the offer, I suggest you to call or talk to the leasing agent. Hey, David, do you have standards for the property? If they do, you need to write down this and the condition. If they don't have it, you can still write on one sentence. Both parties acknowledge this is a final agreement for the lease, so you don't need to put the condition. So other than that, if they are not so sure, put this there first. So that's the final condition. Say this after to lease, the condition upon the tenant's lawyer solicitor to review approve the final standard lease within 10 days. If they didn't, because the standard lease, as I say, 30 pages, 60 pages, we cannot touch it. We are not legal, we are not specialists on it. So that's the way to protect your client and protect yourself. So that's the lease, please remember, okay? So that's a condition, final condition to, to, to protect your client for this. So that's a kind of key elements there. So please remember to read through if you do have time before you prepare the offer, or you can read through, or if any question, anything, you can of course approach, call me, or call Sammy, or call Kelvin, or even Scott in the office, so we can help you out. Okay, so that's the offer for this training purpose. So let's go to the form 324. See, for commission purposes, because that's a quick review for you guys as well. Yes, 324. So that's the way you can remain the same thing like 320, right? When you do the 320, the residential, but in commercial, for tenant, we normally call it 324 here. You see listing agents, different brokerage. So we click number 1A and also 1 as well. Remember, so this one you need to make sure you select right one. If you don't select anything, then come back the listener, hey, David, how come you're missing it? Not good. So better to show your professional manner. Okay, the number one you do. And for this purpose, we need code number 4, the co-opting brokerage. We are representing what? The tenant. Okay, so 4A1, you need to click it as well. And number 1. Number 2, you need to click number 4B, the cooperating commission. Because there are two areas. One is called representation. Number 2 is called commission, right? Commission, as I said at the beginning, when you do, if you click number 1, as per MLS, sometimes you're confusing, you're getting trouble sometimes maybe, right? So I suggest using number 2. Number 2, again, for this listing, you need to write down. Already say so, 4% for year 1 and 1.7% for the rest of the term. That means every year you got to save 1.75% commission from net rent. So this way you are good, you are safe. Okay, so that's the form 324, and of course the signing acknowledgement same way as other one. So I will not touch it. So for the training purpose, that's a form that we done, often done. So the rest form you need to read through later. I will not touch it for anything. Anyway, so we stop the slide and the form here. I will leave about 10 minutes for everyone. If you have any question, I will answer. I will share with you. And if you have any story, I will share with you as well. And I will be here, for another 10 minutes. So let's see any question you have. Then we'll be here for another 10 minutes. Thank you for everyone for attending to each section. Let's see, going back to this, the session. Okay. So open your mind. If you have any question about it.